Oh my goodness. So it has been a few days now that we're in Angola, and we are in Luanda, and we're visiting with my boyfriend's sister. And it's amazing because I have this moment. I'm looking around her house. I've been there like now quite a few times. And I'm sitting down at her dining room table in a particular chair that has this look in the outside court, and I'm looking at her green walls, and I'm going, I've seen this before. I've seen this before. Holy crap, I've seen this before. I'm having deja vu. Why have I seen this before? Why do I know this place? I've seen it before. And I realized that I had seen it in my dreams with such clarity. Like in old shoes, like what part of that dream? Where was I dreaming? What was I doing? And I realized on my vision quest, when I had been in the mountains of Virginia and I had worked with grandmother Shirley Sweet in Lakota, I had had this vision. I had opened a door, went through, saw this vision, didn't understand it, came back through, went to another door. I was floored. So I have this moment of clarity, and then I realize, just like the name of the business I chose the business name Infinite Possibilities, Journey to Empowerment, after having a dream. I woke up saying it. I woke up saying Infinite Possibilities, and I wrote it down. And this was one of the many potentials, the many infinite possibilities I could have journeyed on. And here I was living it. I had always wanted to come to Africa. I had always wanted to know what it was like to submerge, to be in Africa, not as a visitor, not as a tourist, but as somebody really just living it. And it gave me a moment to take pause and say thank you, because in my dreams this had been a potential reality, and here I was having lived and fulfilling that reality. So I was excited. I was really, really excited to see where this journey was going to take me, what was I going to learn, how could I impact the world. I want to unveil some of those questions in my mind. My boyfriend and I, Job, have been talking about ancestors and just a lot of different things as it pertains to relatives and what he could remember, because he was so young when he left. He had been in Angola from when he was born till 17 and then left, and that's a lot of years to be away, you know. And here we were visiting back, and for him it was a remembering, and for me it was an encountering. So we were excited. So there are many things I wanted to see, do, and one of the things that I wanted to do is that I knew that Angola had waterfalls. So the waterfalls, like Victoria Falls is to Zimbabwe, is Calendula Falls to Angola. It is this gigantic waterfalls, untouched and not tainted by man, all part of the natural landscape. So it meant that the waterfalls didn't just come over, but it actually came through the cracks and crevices of the whole canyon side. And I had seen it on film. It was something to behold, and I had asked, can we take the time to go see it? And Job had surprised me to say that we could go see Calendula Falls. So I was excited. And so the 5-hour bus ride led us to the town of Bakula. And then in Bakula, we hired a car as a cab, because many people use their cars as cabs. And it took us an hour, 15 minutes to Calendula Hotel, which was the only hotel that looked directly onto the falls, and it was magnificent. You walk into this hotel, and you know that the falls is behind it, and you hear it, but you don't have this view of it. And then you walk into the hotel, and you have stairs up towards the rooms or down to the lobby. Split level. You walk down into the lobby, and right where you would speak to the receptionist for the hotel, you have beautiful glass patio windows and the view of the falls. That was just breathtaking. And I went right past the reception, straight out into the patio, and I was just mesmerized. The sound, the feeling of mist, the way that the falls was not just flowing, but from each direction that it was coming, because it was coming head on, but also to my right, on a side where the landscape actually curved. And then it wasn't just running over the top, but it was coming through the cracks, which gave it this jetting position that made this dance of the water coming down and the dance of the water shooting out to go down just that much more complex yet interesting. And then if you really squinted, you could actually see people walking on top of the falls, and I realized that there's this hotel right on top of the falls, right next to it on the left. And that, I guess the way that the water ran, people could actually walk there. So not all the way across, but at least it seemed like a few feet into the water. And then the mist, as it just hit the base of the falls and flowed into a stream, just bridged up this beautiful cloud that sometimes got so big that it just encapsulated everything, and you couldn't even see the falls. It was just something. And then if you followed the cliff all the way to the left, you would see more water jetting out, creating smaller falls through the greenery. And the rest of it was just from the water's edge all the way to the left, green. Green as far as the eye could see. Green trees, green grass, green bushes. Not thick, but just enough to fill, but also enough that if you really wanted to take that walk, you wouldn't be afraid to. You wouldn't think twice about it. You wouldn't feel like you would get lost. So I'm taking all of this in the very first time, and my mind is just racing, taking in all of the beauty, taking in how I feel, taking in what I could do, what do we do next, how long is it going to take us to check in so we can go do a walk or climb, or I have this need, I need to touch the water, I need to touch the water, I need to touch the water.